scariest heroes, its deadliest villains, all competing in an epic battle for the ages.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Taylor Field in the flesh, and I am here today, all you Siths and Jedi, to talk about Star Wars Battlefront 2. So, this is a game, and this will be some spoilers in here, but before getting into spoilers, this game obviously has gotten a lot of flack from EA, and it's been a little bit of a rough, bumpy ride. That being said, I think the game, it's outstanding. It's everything I would have hoped and dreamed of for a Star Wars first-person, third-person shooter like this, and easily worth the money from me, in my opinion. So that being said, I know that the game has received a lot of flack and boycotting in the sense, like, 40 hours to unlock Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. I'll get into that a little bit later. And just the way EA has been handling many things with the game and covering up certain things at the same time. Again, there's obviously like practices that weren't professional, per se, but, at the end of the day, it's a beautiful game. It is visually outstanding. It feels like Star Wars 110%, and it feels like an improvement from the original Star Wars Battlefront, in every single way possible, and the incorporations of all the different eras, phenomenal. Absolutely perfect. They've listened to the fans, they've delivered, and it's great. I have no regrets getting this game. The Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition, perfect. So that being said, jumping right in, I'll start off with the multiplayer. It definitely felt a little tweaked from the beta, like definitely some good improvements. That being said, absolutely enjoyed the multiplayer. I played Galactic Conquest, Starfighter Assault, Blast, Heroes versus Villains, and I can't remember the last one, but I have played through all the game modes for multiplayer, and they're a lot of fun. Galactic Conquest, it's not as hard to earn the battle points as it was in the beta, at least I felt. But I guess it varies depending if you're playing good or not. But absolutely so much fun. These large scale maps, like my favorite memory so far that I've had is on Hoth, getting to be Yoda, and just the snowtroopers, flooding into the Echo base, and you're just literally cutting them down through the hallway, and they're having such a hard time picking you off. Boom, here's like 10 snowtroopers, no problem. You just flood right through them, cutting and dicing and slicing. It is absolutely hilarious. It's such a good time. And when you play smart as a Jedi or a hero, it's amazing the damage you can do. And that just totally pulled me right into, the Star Wars universe. Yeah, and I know, again, there was flack there in the sense, like, oh, why is Yoda in the Galactic Civil War era? Fighting in that sense. He was alive, but, fighting, like, he wasn't ever on Hoth, so why is he on Hoth? Like, he's more like Clone Wars era. I think it's great. It's a clash, like, when you're running around and like, oh, wow, there's, Chewbacca or whatever in the Clone Wars era. Like, oh, there's, Han Solo in the Clone Wars era. Like, it's such a cool clash. And a huge improvement from the first game to this one is the fact you can have multiple heroes, and you get a chance to really play as them. When I'm doing the Galactic Conquest and I'm like, oh, I'm at 6,000 battle points. I can choose, do I want to redeem it on Rey, or do I want to save up that 8,000 for Luke? Like, it's just, or maybe it's 8,000 for Yoda. Yeah, it might be vice versa. Can't remember, but it feels good, like, to be able to achieve that and just think, I'm just going to hold off and I'm going to work a little bit harder, get a couple more kills, and get that hero, and it pays off. It's nice to give everyone that chance, and it's great. And then, the fact, too, I should say, that in Blast, it being very much the close quarters, and I never really gave much of a chance of, like, the other game modes in Battlefront 1, because it didn't feel like that much of a difference. I get their smaller close quarters combat than Galactic Conquest, and I love Galactic Conquest, but like Blast and the other game modes for multiplayer, it really feels much more fast-paced and entertaining in this Battlefront 2, and I think that's because of the the customizable options of like your star cards and your weapons and your firearms. And the firearms themselves, I think, are absolutely awesome. I love how much variety they have, and I love the modifications and the ability to craft things for them, and in that sense too, crafting your star cards. It makes the game so much more enjoyable and fresh. And it was definitely an attribute and a feature that I loved in Star Wars Battlefront 1, getting these different star cards to really customize your play style and suit your needs. The downside to that is, yes, the star cards are available in loot boxes, and you can buy loot boxes with like real money, obviously, and that's got a lot of flack. And I do agree in the sense that, yes, you are gambling. And unlike other things like mobile games and other games like Assassin's Creed or like Battlefield Middle-earth or Shadow of War, you know what you're getting in with this content you're purchasing. But downside with Battlefront, you are gambling. You don't know what you're going to get. And that is a shame. It isn't fair at the end of the day, and it shouldn't be charged as much as it is. But it's up to the player to choose whether they want to purchase it or not. I've already unlocked Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, and I've played probably at least under a dozen multiplayer games, and I've beaten the campaign. And that right away there gave me well over 40,000 credits to buy. So that was easy. And I think they said that it's lowered to like 10 hours for each hero. So I've already... to unlock each hero, I guess. I mean, it doesn't feel like I put in 20 hours. No, it can't be 20 hours. So I don't know. They've tweaked the game, obviously, in their update when they launched the game enough to make it a little bit more balanced, and that's what people wanted. All the people that took to Reddit and were complaining about that in the first place. That is something that, at first, I was still going to get this game no matter what, and at first I thought, yes, I understand where the fans are coming from. They don't want to have to put in 40 hours. That is quite a workload to unlock just Darth Vader, and then another 40 hours just for Luke Skywalker. And on top of that, then you don't spend any credits to unlock anything in between. Granted, it is unfair. It is a lot, but at the same time, it's not. I mean, we're video gamers. We grind. We achieve. I mean, what's the issue? At the end of the day, we do this with tons of other video games where we grind for things like VidDocs, Halo 3 ODST, like other games like multiplayer online games. Like, it's something that's just... I get that there's the average person out there busy with school or you have family and you want to get the game and you want to just sit down at the end of the day, play as Darth Vader. Granted, that's fine, and I understand that. But at the other part too, I definitely see what EA was striving for in the sense where they want you to feel that... sense of achievement, and that's to strive to earn that and then be able to be like, here, look, I'm showcasing and showing off Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, and I think that at the end of the day that's actually really cool. And I won't lie, when I first got Darth Vader, I did the heroes versus villains mode, and I just melted seeing the lineup of villains. My Darth Vader next to Kylo Ren, next to Boba Fett, next to Darth Maul. It's like, whoa, this is going to be a hell of a good time. And you see the opposing heroes, Yoda, Luke, Rey, and Han Solo. And I'm just thinking, oh, I just can't fathom this. Like, it's so exciting. And just running into battle with, like, 2 other Sith Lords, like, oh, so cool. And that's exactly what this game does with all the multiplayer modes. It just pulls you into the Star Wars universe. That's what I wanted in this game. I knew going head first in, but when I buy this game, it's going to pull me into the universe. It has the campaign, it has the space battles, and it has awesome multiplayer that's been enhanced in so many good ways from the first one. Space Assault, Starfighter Assault, absolutely love it. Now, I played and grinded so much. I practically grinded doing air battles all the way to level 50 in Star Wars Battlefront 1. And I was just so hooked, and I love the dogfights so much. And finally, being able to play in space with so much happening around you. You have basically cruisers, you have corvettes, you have flying in through the spaceships, you have enemy fighters everywhere. It feels so massive. And being able to do 360 spins and flips and barrel rolls, it feels, so good. And I've not been able to stop being able to play that game mode. And it's what I've wanted for so long in a Star Wars game, is to be in the cockpit of an X-Wing or a TIE fighter or an ARC 170 fighter or Yoda's Jedi Starfighter and just experience this perspective, flying, dodging the missiles, evading the enemy fighters, going in with my squadron, taking them out. It is so awesome. And to have that Star Wars twist and feel to it, even better. The Starfighter Assault in the Clone Wars era is so much fun. Absolutely love it. And just being able to call out the heroes like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer, like there's some cool things, and you could feel the care that was put into this game. The detail and the visuals of it, it is absolutely fantastic. And again, I don't understand why there is so much hate lashed towards EA. It's like, for me, it sucks because as a huge fan of this game, it sucks because people just focus on all the negative, and you don't have to look at justifying like, oh, it's just because it's beautiful doesn't mean it's worth an $80. I understand that, but at the end of the day, you should still at least show a little bit of respect. You know, they've built an incredible game and added so much that we asked for from the first game when that released. The campaign, the enhancements, it's absolutely fantastic. Leads me to my next point. Free DLC, absolutely perfect. I mean, this game is set up to get so much DLC, and I'm so excited to see what we're getting for new maps, locations, content, everything. And it's all going to be free. That's fan-freaking-tastic. But again, people, they just throw that to the side and are focusing on the negatives. And I feel like a lot of people haven't done their research into this game as of yet very well. Because this game, yes, they are removing paid DLC, but then it's to be expected. They have to make money some other way, obviously, nowadays, so they bring in the loot boxes, which are optional. I find that I'm still able to play really, really well, even though I'm stacked against characters that have bought loot boxes and have tons of overpowered star cards to their arsenal. I have no trouble. You play smart, use your weapons you're given, and just outplay them and outmaneuver them. At the end of the day, we're players. You gotta improve, improvise, adapt to the situation, and just, make it your own. And that's what you gotta do. So, that being said, I was thinking actually of maybe buying a loot box or two just to see, for the fun, just to say I've done it. But to get daily ones every day, that's always nice. Getting some for the beta obviously is good too. But yeah, that being said, moving along into the campaign. Now, this is where I'll touch on some spoilers, obviously, but I was just excited to get Star Wars story that exists after Episode 6 to fill in that void between 6 and 7. I'm a huge sucker for kind of media and content like that. I love so many of the Star Wars novels, and I had no idea where this campaign was going to take us and end. Now, when we got to the point where the second Death Star blew up, I was amped. And to see Iden Versio's perspective leading Inferno Squad, how her motives were heightened and then slowly start to drift and change, it was very cool in development for character. The one thing that I did not like was the fact that she seemed to have changed her ideals a little bit more faster than Del. And I feel like Del, having encountered Luke and went through that scenario, had much more cause to kind of feel more sympathetic towards the Rebellion and the Alliance people and planets and the New Republic, and just kind of understand where they're coming from as opposed to Iden Versio. But it works out in the story, obviously, but that being aside, when the Death Star blew up, and you just start to see how the Empire's tactics drastically change, and how that it's just starting to crumble. We already knew the end result of the Empire, obviously. They transitioned to the First Order. But to see how an Empire that controls thousands of star systems handles this situation of losing its 2 leaders and a huge portion of their fleet, it crumbles from the inside, and how they're trying to use fear as a weapon, it doesn't work, and just how the story changes and the Empire is just falling and falling. That moment when we get Luke Skywalker steps into the campaign and you're playing as him, and I wasn't expecting that, at all, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I felt like, wow, Luke, like, I love who you've transitioned to from episode 6 into this Jedi Master. You becoming every kind of Jedi that I'd love to see. Like, this is the Jedi I knew Luke was, and the way he talks and the way he converses with Del, it's just so satisfying and brings a huge smile to my face when I was playing that mission. It just felt like this is Star Wars at its finest. And the perspectives too, I'm a huge sucker for perspectives. It's one of my reasons why I love the Grand Admiral Thrawn novel. Del's perspective and how Luke counteracts it with just such a basic, open, understanding mind and concept. And it's great. Moving on from that, they let you get to play, obviously, as all the heroes like Lando, Leia, Han, which is fantastic. You get to go to such iconic locations again. And the story continues with Iden leading to Jakku. Now, I remember getting the Jakku map from some of the free DLC in Star Wars Battlefront 1, and that map just blew me away. You got the Super Star Destroyer in orbit, you got all the other Star Destroyers coming down. It was only a multiplayer map, but it was absolutely just gorgeous. It was like, wow, this battle is legit. It looks 10 times bigger than the Battle of Endor. Like, what has led to this moment? And getting to experience that, I love how EA has capitalized on this historic moment and created such an event and made it their own. And I love that this is the starting off point in Force Awakens, but this planet is just truly pinnacle for this event. And when you get to play that in the campaign, it just blows my mind how epic it is, flying around the X-Wing, doing all this stuff, and it delivers again and again and again. While I was not expecting the Kylo Ren dream sequence with Del, which is decades later, at the beginning of basically, I'd say, it was probably a few days or weeks before Force Awakens when you're playing as Kylo Ren. He is awesome to use in the game, and doing that dream sequence where you're trying to get into Del's mind was absolutely fantastic. I was not expecting Hask, the other member of Inferno Squad, to be surviving and join the First Order. It just begs me to wonder, okay, is Hask going to play a role in Last Jedi? They definitely left the story open, or is Hask going to be limited only to the video game, and we're going to get to see his story continue in future DLC? It was unfortunate with Del, but they definitely left open the fact with Iden Versio and who their child is. And I'm wondering, will that be more campaign DLC? Where are we going to see that media transition to? That being said, I think that covers basically all the basic facts. I stand by the fact that I think this game deserves to be picked up, tried at least, rented if you can. I think that there's so many pluses to this game over the negatives, and I think that this game absolutely is beautiful. It does justice for the franchise, and it satisfies my Star Wars craving in every possible way. At least time me over until Star Wars The Last Jedi comes out in less than a month. Less than a month, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. But, yeah, I absolutely love this, and the Inferno Squad armor definitely has me tempted to work on some cosplay for that. It's sick. But, yeah, that being said, the heroes, the characters, the gameplay, it feels smooth, fluid, beautiful. There's no way I would not recommend this game at all. I think it delivers. I hope people calm down and they can look at the positives for this game, because it truly is. And I feel like it's going to be taken as an underrated game. Don't boycott it. At least try it. That's all I have to say about that. It's a huge improvement, and it has some great features and qualities. So, yeah. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this quick little review of my thoughts on Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I will see you in the search bar. Have a good one.